I'm gonna preface this by just letting you guys know that Webtoon has updated its terms of services, which is going to make content creation with some of this stuff more difficult in terms of showing panels and showing stuff like that. So I might have to be face camming a lot more. I'm gonna figure it out and find a way to give you guys the best visual experience while you listen to me talk and ramble about various things. So just kind of bear with me as I figure it out. But like, subscribe, hit the bell. And I want to talk about Anata's mentor. So I just finished reading In My Delusions and Dawn of the Gods, which are really good too with Ushas and whatnot, but I'll get to that another day. And I actually really like the concept of the great snake Anata being born as this blank state sponge that absorbed the teachings of his mentor, and you're seeing the parallels between them. Now it's called In My Delusion, so there's just like this weird possibility that like he made it up. It's not real. Low key, maybe a Primeval hit him with some type of like psychological, transcendental, mental transcendental, or like for a second I was thinking to myself because of the title, it's like maybe he went back in time and somehow split the actions he was doing and the actions he was seeing in some weird fragmented mind way. But I do think it's called mostly In My Delusions because ultimately he is the only person who's not a Primeval who would have known of her existence before it got split into Massivins and Sagara. His mentor's name being, I actually forgot her name. I'm sorry. Manasa, right? So I'm like, okay, I think that's really why it's called In My Delusions, because ultimately, end of the day, even though it may have been the literal figurative truth at some point, that's no longer the universe's history. And him remembering that, him being the only person who's not those four primeval gods, would make him the outlier. So he is delusional in that sense. So I actually like the title for this so far. We'll see how it plays out. But the reason that I think I like this is because, again, you're seeing how this is all coming full circle. Ananta was just like really nice and kind and kind of a blank slate, looking at her help people, be a good person, and do the right thing, and being seemingly omniscient, omnipotent, like just knowing where everything's gonna happen. Then it's explained to him by one of the primeval gods. I think it's Vishnu or Kali. Honestly, I don't think it's Brahma, and I don't think Shiva cares about the universe like that. I just don't. I can't explain it. Shiva's weird too, but I am happy that we're getting more Shiva. I don't know, Curry guy. I feel like Shiva. You want to kind of put him in the story. This ain't a Phantom Minimum type beat with SIU. But that being said, I love it because everything that we've seen Ananta go through and the constantly rewinding of time, and you're seeing how that affects his personality and it's making him kind of darker. We've seen that with his mentor. She was light and blah blah this and that. And as the universe expanded and as more atrocities were happening frequently, and there wasn't even a simple way to constantly intervene, you can see the frustration and you can see the toll that it was taking on her, to the point she went back really far in time to find out where this universe eating monster came from and was blown away. Now, the question that I have in my head is, was she stronger than Ananta? Was Ananta stronger than her? Or was it one of those things where it's like they were pretty even? Or was it really that the abilities that they're even, but he had more potential perhaps? Like, I'm not entirely sure how that works. Another question that I have in my head, which I think is interesting to ask ourselves and wonder and ponder about. But I'm really enjoying this. Like, I'm at the point where I'm like, anybody who cares about the story of Kubera, you can't skip the side stories. I think they're too vital at this point. I would argue the side stories have revealed and given us very interesting revelations that the main story has not. The main story is still like a slow IV drip of build up, reveal, add a new mystery, where I find the side stories kind of cut through some of that in certain parts and just tell you how it is. I don't know if anyone else is getting that sentiment reading these, but I've been enjoying it thoroughly and heavily, and I love it here. It's been fun, it's been great, but Anata had a mentor, and then when she got obliterated, he basically just had to take that role on. No matter how far back in the universe he goes, Sagara Master Vince has always been there. That's gonna be tough, and that was his mate too. Like, I guess part of the reason, maybe I don't think he has any kids and never really made anybody, is because he lost his love, kind of like Yaksha did very early on, if you will. I'm just not interested. And I know a lot of guys like that. I could be like that in some ways too. Like when I'm in love and I really like that. Like other women just don't exist to me. Like you're cool, like hi, whatever, you're pretty, but like I don't care to want you. You're not her. You know what I'm saying? So I like it. I like where we're going. I'm very, very, very excited to see what Delusions 2 and 3 give us before we finally hop back to the main timeline with Kubera, which I'm also extremely excited for. But let me know what you guys have thought, especially my early patrons. Definitely comment on Patreon and let me know what you are thinking about this if you see this early. Peace. Patreon gang. Shout out to the Patreon gang. Yes, sir. Shout out to my certified BAM lovers. You know, I appreciate y'all deeply. Gotta give a big shout out to the Priest of Fire. That's the real CBL Brilliant gang. You already know what it is, but especially gonna give a huge thank you to my tier 3s, the 5th Zen Gods. Shout out to Zodiac, Sonny Katapali, Simi, Silo, Shoddy to your body, Scobe, Revenant, Lucky Roo, Lazy Dragon, Chris, Johnny Rogers, Jacob Holland, Irene Sharda, Fitz, Triss, and my boy Abdel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.